All right, Potomac, let's get into it. So I wanted to wrap up the season finale. I didn't want to do like a full video for it because I just didn't think yeah, I didn't have that much to talk about for the season finale, but I did have some things to say about Monique, her confessional towards the end where she said like she had remorse, but then she doesn't feel bad for defending herself, and then she had that like maniacal laugh at the end. Shady Bravo editors. But I don't know, it's just I like Monique, and I've said in the previous recap that I did for Potomac, I like Monique and I like Candace, so this kind of sucks. I like them both. It's rare. Not a lot of people do. It's either Team Candace or Team Monique, which is why I have a problem sometimes watching certain reviews because it's like either all one sided and I see both sides and people some people just don't understand that. But I feel like it's hard to like ride for Monique when she's just like when she's crying in her therapy session and I feel so bad for her, but then like all throughout social media after this aired, like this whole year, like on social media, she's just been dragging Candace on social media. She's been on like a whole bunch of blogs and like doing a whole bunch of interviews, like video interviews, just like bashing Candace so hard. And I feel like if she had any ounce of remorse, that she wouldn't be going so hard for this, like for the way she acted during this fight. I get that she was upset and there's like some built up energy between her and Candace, but like I feel like she's just been going so hard on social media and making songs about it. It's just like, okay. It's like really hard to like be on her side during this fight. Not that I'm like so pro Team Candace either. Candace has a mouth. It does not give anyone the right to smack her upside her head, but she does have a mouth. And every time you try to feel bad for her, I mean, she's cried throughout this whole season, but every time you try to feel, well, she cries every season that she's on, but you try to feel bad for her, she runs her mouth again. You're like, well, are you really that traumatized? Like you're so traumatized that you're ready to like fight again or ready to like tell someone to drag you like during this whole okay, wait. Let's get to the little party real quick. Robin and Juan get engaged. Whatever. Like let they're just allowing them to have this as their storyline next year. For whatever reason, they like Bravo loves Juan and Robin with their boring asses and they just keep bringing them back on. I don't understand. I don't get it. They're boring. They have no storyline. They've been dragging the same relationship forever. Like I enough. Like this is Teddy part 2. Teddy Milligan part 2. Enough. Please move on. But they're engaged. Michael is devastated that they're engaged. Wendy makes a fool out of herself as per usual, jumping and screaming all in the way, making this like about her. Even Giselle was like, back up. I'm over Wendy as well. Michael is devastated. He takes out his frustration. Wait, hold up. First, like he's like drinking and crying. And he talks to Juan, and then he's like, bachelor party. And then Juan, I know some people said it was Michael, but Juan comes out of his mouth and he's like, oh, just me and you, bachelor party. And Michael was like, yeah, and no cameras. And I was like, what? What? Anyways, he starts going off, getting like dramatic, drinking too much, hitting on Wendy's husband. The girls are arguing, going in on Karen forever. Like, leave this woman alone. She's not going to pick sides. She didn't try to set you up. If she tried to set you up, Monique would have been there when you were there. She wasn't there. You didn't even have to see her. You wouldn't have known she was there unless Ashley didn't open her big mouth. So get over it. They're arguing. Michael, in his gross red self, everybody calls him Gollum, walks over to Chris, tells Chris to check his wife. Don't ever do that. Don't ever tell a man to check his wife. Never a good idea and so rude and disgusting. But he approached Candace's husband instead of approaching her, told him to check his wife. He was like, "You need to back up off me." And Michael was like, "F you. You gonna listen to me?" Chris turns around, pushes him back. Michael goes into victim mode, Karen victim mode, screaming, "He's touching me, he's touching me." They go nuts. Okay, so like Chris put his hands on Michael. I don't like Michael. I never have since season one with his creepy ass showing up to the little lake or beach house when nobody invited him. I've always thought he was creepy. I never liked him. I don't even like Ashley that much either. But he's always been creepy. But Chris put his hands on Michael. He did. He didn't have to push him that far back, but he did. He was invading his space. He put his hands on him, just like Monique put her hands on Candace. But everybody made a way bigger deal out of Monique putting her hands on Candace and saying that nobody should ever do that. But Chris put his hands on Michael. How is that okay? Michael lies and says that he got hit. Ashley, and then he changes it real quickly to push. Ashley goes over to like Michael and Chris and Candace and says, "What? Like you said, Monique has no self control, but you just put your hands on my husband." And then Candace gets involved, but then Candace starts yelling at Michael, and then telling him, "I wish you would put your hands on me." Girl, no, you don't. The last time you begged someone to drag you, they did. And you were devastated and you made sticky notes and you were all emotional. You had to go to therapy. You were crying all the time. You had to take medication. But now you want to confront someone again. Not even a woman, not even the man's wife who you really have a problem with, but you want to get into it with her husband, with a man. Candace, shut up and sit down. So then Chris and Candace get escorted out. Michael should have got thrown out. Eventually he does. Chris and Candace get escorted out. And then Chris says that Michael is a punk and I bet he wouldn't step up to a man like that. He always wants to step up to a woman. He stepped up to you and you pushed him and you both freaked out. He didn't step up to your wife. He was talking to you the whole time. He was saying, "You're going to get arrested. I'm going to put my lawyers on you. I'm going to sue you." He was talking to you, Chris. He wasn't talking to your wife. Your wife was talking to him and trying to confront him and do what? Do what? There. I am so glad we are on reunion because I am so done with the season and the stupid fight and these stupid petty fights and whatever. Michael makes a hot mess of himself, embarrasses Ashley as per usual. Like, Ashley, what do you expect? You can't expect anything different with this man. Well, that season wraps. Candace gave like Karen like a fake hug and then talked trash about her in her confessional. Done. So now we are on the reunion part 1. So we're on reunion part 1. The ladies are getting ready. Andy stops in to see T'Challa. He tells T'Challa, like, "You're the most famous bird on the internet right now," or on TV, whatever. T'Challa says, "Bye, Andy." And then Andy stops in on Candace, and she's watching Monique's last part of the finale where she does her little cackle laugh thing. I'm not sure if this is her first time seeing it or if she's just watching it as a refresher to get her pumped up to be mad. I don't understand. So, but we have no context to that. Oh, and Andy stops in to see Monique. Chris is there. They're ready to read these hoes. And, we see Monique's binder. She has like a tab for everyone and a different name for everyone. She has a shady name for Giselle, which is last lady instead of first lady of the church. She has former friend for Candace, which I thought was interesting because there's a lot meaner things she could have said about her. So I felt like former friend was pretty tame. Yeah, so now they're all seated. Monique's best dressed. Wendy's hair. I'm not a fan of Wendy, but Wendy's hair looks like flowy and I love it. The rest of the dresses, I'm just not a fan of. So Monique's here. She's here, and Candace gives a stank face. Andy's asking all the ladies about themselves. He asks Candace about her fan that she has. She says it's like a hater blocker or a love something. And Monique's like, what? He asks Giselle about Jamal and asks her about being a first lady. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought first ladies are married to the pastor, not a girlfriend, one of many, allegedly, one of many girlfriends to the pastor. I thought you actually had to be married to the pastor to be a first lady. So I'm so confused. So they do like a quick montage of everybody and how they've changed over their seasons. They ask like who do they feel like has changed the most. Monique says Ashley, Andy says Karen, and then Ashley says Karen as well. And I think I would have to agree. I feel like Karen has changed the most for me. Since season 1, I did not like Karen. I thought she was snooty. I actually liked Giselle season 1. Whew, that's changed. I didn't like Karen, and I'm not sure about season 2 either, but she definitely has changed for me, and I feel like, especially this season, even last season, I feel like she really stood up for herself. She was a lot tamer, and she was a lot calmer, except for when someone would read her, then she would be ready to read them back or throw shade at her. And I feel like especially like Robin and Giselle, like the Green Eyed Bandits and Ashley as well, they were really nasty to her, especially when Ray had his tax problems and they made it like her problem and they were just so nasty to her. Giselle wearing the t-shirt, them showing up at her house to like deliver pizza, just the nasty comments they would make. And now to see like that Giselle is going through her issues with Jamal and Ashley is still going on with her issues with Michael, and Robin has those tax problems, it's like, it's interesting to see how things have changed. And I feel like even though like Karen's has her shady moments with him, she is a lot kinder to them than they ever were to her. So I feel like she's changed. Andy is shady as usual, asking women about what work they've had done. He asked Karen about her face, and she said she got like some injections in her nose to, I don't know, pull it down, fill it up, I don't know, whatever. But she looks great. So I wish he would stop asking these women about the work they have done. They're always uncomfortable. They never want to answer. So just let it go. So Andy gets shady and starts asking Karen about Giselle's non-fashions. There's like a viewer question asking if Giselle gets dressed in the dark. So then he asks Giselle, and she says, yes, this all came from Karen. Like, Karen's the only one who thinks this. No, Giselle. We all think this. Like, there's been so many people and so many blogs who have talked about her non-fashion. And I'm glad Karen said something, and I'm glad she stuck to her guns, because it allowed for Candace to say something, Wendy said something, Monique said something, even Robin said something. So Wendy said like she suffers from pretty girl syndrome, and Candace was like, it makes it seem like you don't have to try. And then Giselle's like, well, I don't mind having that suffrage. I'm like, okay, you just totally missed the point, but okay. You can't dress. Nobody likes your style. And it's whatever. Oh, and we got a little unnecessary flash of Ashley's dress. I'm sure like the slit is a little too high for the pregnant belly. So when she sat down, it was like flash. So she's pregnant. It's not her fault. But they're ripping Giselle's fashions apart, and I'm enjoying it. And she keeps saying, it's your opinion. Yes, it's their opinion. That's the whole point of being here. So whatever, Giselle. So we got our first little shot of shade between Candace and Monique. Andy asks Monique who she thinks the best dress is. She says Karen. He asks Candace. She says it's a tie between herself and Karen. And then Andy says, oh, I thought, Monique, you were going to say yourself. And she says, well, I'm not that vain. And Candace says, not in public. So, yeah. So, first little shot of shade. We know there's gonna be more, but let's proceed. So Robin tries to say that her and Giselle have a genuine friendship and there's no strategic moves. I feel like that's a lie. They have an alliance. There's plenty of times where Robin does not feel what Giselle is putting out there, but she sticks by her because they have an alliance and they don't go against each other, which is why we never seen them fight, never seen them really argue, even when Giselle repeatedly ruins Robin's events. She gets a little mad for like 5 minutes, confronts her, they move on. But I feel like it's because they have an alliance. And so then he asked Karen about her coming after the Green Eye Bandits on social media. Then Robin turns it into Karen blames them for the fight. She just says, I saw, like, you had gleeful eyes in the corner after the fight. Multiple people have said this. They saw Robin laughing and smiling after the fight, so it wasn't just Karen. Um, but Candace keeps jumping in, talking about there was raw footage, there was no editing and stuff, and it's like, yeah, so people saw the footage and they saw some people, I don't remember, I'm gonna have to watch it again, but some people clearly said they saw Robin smiling after the fight. So whatever, I don't know, but people coming after Robin and Giselle has nothing to do with Karen. They watch the show for themselves and they see you two and they see how horrible you two are to the other castmates and especially Karen. Like they've I really wish Robin would go back and watch the seasons where she was like relentless with Karen and never let up. Now she wants Karen to be kind to her and feel bad for her. Get a grip and get over yourself. I really need for Robin to go. I really do. And now that we're talking about people who need to go, I need for Wendy to go. We're getting into her whole spill as a new housewife. I'm over Wendy. I'm over her in her 400 degrees. I'm over it. I'm over her talking about how all of these respectability politics and trying to put it on black women to be 5 million times better, as if we don't have enough pressure, as if like one person fighting or two people fighting on a show has anything to do with us and represents us. You represent yourself, Wendy, and you're the one who's talking about being a good representation when you were screaming and calling Ashley a bitch for bringing her baby to Monique's house. Like, you are crazy. You didn't barely knew this woman and start screaming at her, trying to fight her, verbally fight her, and calling her a bitch, calling her out her name for no reason. No reason. You didn't even have a relationship with her. Candace and Monique actually had a relationship. You're crazy. I'm done with Wendy. I don't even want to like focus on her little storyline thing. I'm done. Thank you, Karen, for shutting Wendy down. She said they're all trying to like lie on Karen. I feel like Karen did say like she had challenges with Wendy. She did. And maybe she did want Wendy to come to her and fawn all over her like Candace did and like Ashley did, but she didn't. And at first I was like, why is Karen like just shading and not really feeling Wendy? Now I see why. Because I don't like Wendy either. She's too much. She's a lot. She's annoying. She's rude. She she goes off of respectability politics and then jumps in and acts just as ghetto as the rest of them. So it's just like I'm done. Like, oof. I'm glad Karen said like, you don't have to come to me. I accept you as you are. That's in the past. Let's just start from day one. Because Wendy probably would have never let this go and just continued it on. And Karen is not having it. She has really changed. She's so much more mature than these horrible women. I don't care if Karen does lie. She's way more mature than these women, and I feel like she just has something about her that I am gravitating more towards than any of these women, especially Wendy. Shut up. We're still on Wendy. So they show Karen doing the slithering walk, and it was hilarious. I love how Wendy tried to lie and say that she thought it was so funny. Yeah, right. She was so mad. She was so annoyed. And then when Karen was doing it, she was still annoyed. But then when the other ladies were laughing and they joined in, Wendy had no choice but to relent and laugh as well, because you could tell she was still annoyed. And then finally she started laughing. She Wendy holds a grudge. She does not know how to laugh at herself. She had no choice but to laugh when everyone else was laughing at her. Not with you, Wendy, they were laughing at you. These women are not your friends. Stop going in so hard on Karen. Oh, and it was really funny because Wendy and Karen are wearing the same shoes at the reunion, so they probably have a lot more in common than they think. And he's so shady. He says, so they do Candace's montage of like her season, her nasty Twitter hands, and at the end of it, the Andy said, "I heard you finally moved out of Dorothy's house." Really, Andy? Really? You know this is still a sore spot for her. He's so shady. But she says we'll talk about it when Chris comes out. But we already all know that she moved into a new house. It looks beautiful. Congratulations, Candace and Chris. And his brown penis. Shady Andy returns quicker than the speed of lightning. He is back. He congratulates Candace on her song. Then he asks her to compare it to Coffee and Love, Ashley's song. I don't remember the name. And Candace was like, it doesn't compare. So mine had no auto-tune. And so then Ashley says, I performed mine live and blah, blah, blah with no glitches. And then Candace says, your vocals were trash. So. And then they get on Candace about coming so hard at Ashley. But I'm like, Andy, this is your fault. You knew that she was going to have something to say about Ashley's song, especially when Ashley had something to say about her song. Enough. Candace said that Ashley's husband is itching. She needs to get a test. Andy says, you are a disaster on Twitter. Candace says, thank you. Andy says, you're welcome. Robin decides to jump in because she clearly remembers that we've all forgotten about her being there. And she says, she reminds Ashley, hey, you said some horrible stuff about me and my family, and you got involved in my family. And Ashley says, she said some horrible things about my family. Candace did. And then Robin says, well, what did she say about your family? She says, your son looks like your husband. And Ashley says, was that not rude? I guess it wouldn't be rude if your husband didn't supposedly look like Gollum. Then you probably wouldn't have a problem with people saying he looks like your husband. He looks like his dad. People have called him Gollum. I did not come up with this fantastic phrase. Other people have. Ashley knows it's a read because people don't think that Michael is attractive. So she knows that it's being pointed out as rude, but the way that she's saying it, like, people are just saying, like, your son looks like your husband, and she's offended. So she clearly knows that Michael looks like Gollum. I agree with Karen. I felt like they did jump on Candace and try to make her apologize. She clearly didn't want to. They should have just left it alone, but because this is a shady, like, reality TV show, Robin and Giselle couldn't, so they forced it. And now we're getting into the colorism issue, and Wendy apparently can't wait for this. Let's get into it. I feel like there's always been colorism on this show. Wendy, some of your best new friends, Robin and Giselle, have been the perpetrators of this colorism. So I don't know why you're so excited, because you hang out with them. I feel like I don't know about Wendy, because I feel like she does get in your face and she does get aggressive, unless we can use a different term. Please let me know if there's a better term, because Wendy didn't provide one. I feel like Wendy came at Ashley about bringing her baby to Monique's house in an aggressive way. None of these women understood what Wendy's problem was, not even Candace, all right? The way that she was coming at Ashley so hard, calling her a bitch for bringing her kid, like, girl, what is your problem? I don't know about Wendy. Maybe it's because I don't like her, but she's been too much. She's just been too much. Now, for Candace and Ashley, I feel like there is colorism. I do. Because Ashley is Candace. They are the same. They both have the same nasty mouths. They're both nasty to each other on social media. They both talk about people's relationships and families. They both get dirty and nasty and low down to the point where it makes people cry. Like, they're horrible, both of them. I have really never liked Ashley. I only liked Candace because I felt like she was fun and she was shady and fun shade and she stood up for herself. I felt like Candace stood up for herself. I felt like Ashley was just mean to be nasty. Now, I feel like they come at Candace way harder than they do at Ashley. Ashley has said horrible things to their face behind their back, made them feel like crap, and then they forgive her so much easier, a lot easier than they do Candace. And when Ashley was going through her trouble, they were very compassionate and accommodating and didn't talk too much about it. Oh, we have to tiptoe around it. When she did none of that for them, she did none of that for them. But it's like, now that the roles are reversed, we have to feel sorry for you and be like compassionate and not talk about your situation and be understanding. I was like, are you serious? And I feel like it does have to do with colorism because they don't do that for Candace. The only time they have done that for Candace is this season because she fought Monique. When it was a Candace against Ashley, they were all ready to ice her, including Monique. But now that it's Candace against Monique, all of a sudden they're ride or die for Candace. And they're going so hard for her. They don't like that girl. They do not like her. They just don't like Monique so much that they're willing to defend Candace in this situation. So I do think it has to do with colorism. Wendy, I don't know. I'm sorry, but I feel like she is aggressive. And I feel like she's rude. And I feel like she does too much. Girl, this is your first season. We barely know you, and you were jumping into conversations that had nothing to do with you all of the time. But then you want to call somebody else out for speaking up on your situation. Like, I'm done with Wendy. But with the colorism issue with Candace and Ashley, I do think that plays a major factor, and I don't care what any of them say. I feel like Andy is basically saying, Candace, please get off Twitter, and she won't. So we're on a break, and Monique and Ashley are talking to each other, and she's just talking about the fakery between Candace and Giselle. And she's like, since they want to spread rumors, I'm going to spread rumors about everybody. And Ashley's like, I don't think we want to do that. And Monique's not hearing that. She's like, nope, I got my little binder. I'm ready to spread all these rumors, just like y'all try to spread it about me and my husband and my child. So, whew, we're about to get into it. Jamal lives in your phone. Candace was trying so hard not to laugh at that a second time. We're going through Giselle's fake storyline with Jamal, him living in her phone. Karen did not come to play. She had all this pent up energy for Giselle, for everything Giselle said about Ray wanting to cheat on her with that woman. I can't remember that woman. About horrible things about Ray, his tax issues, Karen, her marriage, just all these nasty things that Giselle has said and done. Karen was ready, set. Now we about to go. Karen said, Giselle House was Ronald McDonald, the orange, purple, green. Giselle has no comebacks except for to say that Karen's Geritol kicked in. Girl, you are 7 years younger than Karen. 7. Not 17, 7. So, stop. So now we're getting into Every Hue beauty and how it's been missing. But Giselle says her manufacturer shut down with COVID, but I don't recall seeing Every Hue at all this season or last season. But they were sure making fun of Karen's Ladam last season and this season and making fun of her wigs. But where is Every Hue? Where has it been? Because it's been gone off the show a lot longer than COVID's been around. So Karen has said allegedly that Target has put every hue into liquidation. I mean, there's no proof that it's been around. We haven't seen it. Like, what was it, the first season or the second season when Giselle had every hue? It's all she talked about, and she hasn't talked about it since. I think like since the third season, it's been gone. So I'm gonna need her to start talking about Karen's businesses because she actually has businesses, and Giselle has what? Thank you, Karen, because I hate when Giselle does this. Like, Karen is saying, like, my businesses are still around, and Giselle's like, congratulations, Karen. No, no, no. It's because you knocked her down so hard about her businesses, like, all the time. You had all these nasty things to say. Now, whenever somebody comes and says something to you, now it's like, okay, okay, get off me, get off me. No. Take it. Take it as well as you give it. You don't know how to. I'm glad Karen is coming for her because I don't know how she puts up with Giselle. I don't know how you put up with someone who's like that, who will do all these nasty things, say all these nasty things to you, like dish it, but then when you dish it back onto them, they can't take it. Like, that's so infuriating. I can't stand Giselle. At least facial expressions. So we're back to talking about Jamal. Karen's like, are you back with Jamal? Ashley's like, Candace is like, Wendy is like, I feel like they know this is a fake storyline. They're just letting Giselle do whatever she wants because that's what they always do. I feel like they know this is a fake storyline, and I feel like Karen is been ready and waiting. We could see Monique in the corner swaying. She's ready to hop in. She's ready for Karen to tag her in, but Karen is coming for her, and I feel like they all feel the same except for Robin. I forgot about her again. They all feel the same except for Robin, that this is a fake storyline. And they're just enjoying Karen reading Giselle for filth. Oh, Monique just got tagged in. She hopped right in, didn't even let Giselle finish. She said when y'all were announcing y'all getting back together, he told his girlfriend that this was just reality TV fake storyline. Monique finally whips out the binder. She's got receipts. Wendy's face says it all. Candace is chiming in with Giselle, siding with Giselle. Girl, get a clue. Talking about these sounds like rumors. Yes, rumors. Remember the ones that your friend Giselle started? So Andy says, how do you know that these texts are true? And Monique says, do you want me to read out his phone number? Wendy's face. Then stupid Robin jumps in. What's your motivation behind this? Robin, I wonder, maybe it's because I heard you and Giselle, the little green eye bandits, from your friend Candace on her live. She told the world that she met up with y'all and y'all wanted to start a rumor about Monique and her husband and her baby. I would think that that's her motivation, Robin. You dum-dum. So Monique just ignores Robin, thankfully, because she doesn't exist right now, and starts reading off the phone number. Giselle is stunned and confirms that that is his phone number. Giselle is trying to address the situation. It's not going well. Monique just talks over her as if she has said nothing and continues reading from the text. The shade. Oh. Monique was ready. So ready. So for some reason, Candace decides to jump in and says this is the same person who was crying foul about people spreading true stuff about her relationship, referring to Monique. Candace, you were the one who said that they were plotting against her and that it wasn't true, that you didn't believe it, but now you believe it because you guys got into a fight. Candace, I'm going to need you to shut all the way up. I'm glad Monique just talked over her and asked Andy if he wanted to see the text. He said he nodded his head yes, because we know Andy wants to see them. I'm going to need Candace to stay out of this. Let your fight with Monique be your fight with Monique. Do not stand up for Giselle. She will toss you away next season. Just you wait and see. Monique said she was reading Giselle for filth. Whew, she said, while you sitting up here with your fraudulent relationship with Pastor Holy Whore, this is what people call him on the blogs, I hope he's sitting behind you this reunion. He won't be. Karen asks, is Jamal coming? And Giselle's like, no. You're a fraud. And that's how we end it. Y'all, we've been waiting for this reunion. I really will be glad when this is done, because this has been a rough season. But I am so here for Monique coming for Giselle. This is what she should have done instead of fighting with Candace. But I'm here for it. I feel like Giselle has gotten off way too clean, like too easy for so many seasons. Karen's come at her here and there. Karen's like the only one, but Monique was ready. I feel like they went a little too far coming for her marriage and her child. So she's like set off. So I'm here for it. Let me know what you think of this episode. I did some of the season finale and this reunion. Please let me know what you think about both. Tell me in the comments. I know some of you have sides. Just go ahead, let me know whose side you're on. I'm on neither. At this point, I'm just enjoying Giselle getting red for filth and Robin not being able to do anything about it. It's so grand. So give this video a like if you enjoyed it, and please subscribe if you're new. Hit that notification bell so that you are in the know whenever I release a new video. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time. Bye guys.